Hello, people of the internet. My name is Skylar Mendez. Hi. Hello. Hi. I actually look good on this. I've been an iPhone user since iPhone whatever. No, iPod third generation before iCloud. Before it was a thought, before it existed, before I remember Apple when you purchased an album and you lost your phone or your iPod Touch, you had to rebuy that album or song you purchased for. You had to rebuy everything you paid for when you first got your device. Like an album. Like I had purchased an album called Skillet. I had to rebuy that album from Apple themselves on iTunes when I had bought a brand new iPod Touch. And I had from 7 of them. I had I had 3 third gens, 4 fifth gens, no, 4 fourth gens, and 3 fifth gens. I've never had a 6th gen, I've never had a 7th gen, I've never had an 8th gen, or whatever gen they're at. When I first got my iPhone, it was the iPhone 4S. When Siri first got launched. I'm making this video because I understand where certain tech repair shops are with fixing their screens. And I understand consumers and their frustration with Apple with their over-minding, narcissistic, wanna-be strict Apple way. I understand that. I clearly do. I understand where they are coming from sometimes. I'm not going to say I am an Apple sheep. I'm not an Apple sheep. I have played both sides of Android and iOS. The 2 phones I had before I have this iPhone 8, I had the Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, and the Note 8. The Note 8 I had, paid full price for, and just went straight. The only reason I went back to an iPhone was because of the color red iPhone. I was just watching a YouTuber that brings up a very good point. And I don't know if anybody remembers this, but Apple used to confiscate. Apple used to confiscate your phone way back in the day. This is iPhone 3, 3G, 3GS, 4, 4S, and it stopped around iPhone 5. Basically, within the bylaws of the agreement of buying the phone, that means when you purchase the phone and you hit agree for their services, you also agreed for in a contract that stated that Apple can confiscate your phone if you jailbroke it. Nobody remembers this but me. I remember this. I remember when they would say, oh no, your iPhone is never your phone. And I looked at them and I said, what are you talking about? Well, when you buy a $600 iPhone from Apple, if you jailbreak it by any means, Apple, if you bring it to an Apple service provider, the Apple store, they are to confiscate your phone and to not give you a new one. That means you spent $500, $600, $700 on a phone and then jailbroke it, and then it never came back to you. Something went wrong with it. Apple took a look at it and confiscated it and came back to you and said, oh, hi, you jailbroke your phone, so we confiscated it and you're not getting a new one. You have to buy a whole new phone. And people were really outraged, like a public riot and everything. Like, people went to forums, people did strikes. Apple had a whole complete boycott that no one talked about. Apple had a complete boycott. Like, no one bought their phones that badly. Like, their sales went down until they fixed that problem. And within the bylaws of their agreement, they changed it so that when you buy an iPhone, that it is permanently yours. That you are the consumer, the buyer, the seller, the shipper, and also the legal standing of the phone. Boom. Now we hit somewhere with iPhones that, since you're not using our genuine screens, we're gonna block your phone from being used. This isn't the first time that Apple's done it. You get what I'm saying? This isn't the first time. But no one's paying, well, I would pay for Apple Care. But no one's saying, I'm not gonna buy Apple Care, so giving them $1,000 is basically it, or $600, $700. That's basically it. And my phone breaks. I go to Apple. That's $400, $4 to $5 or $6 to $7, depending on your model and your gigabyte, for a whole replacement. That means if your aluminum body gets bent, whole new replacement. Your camera lens breaks, new replacement. Your Taptic engine breaks, or it's misaligned and they can't realign it, whole body replacement. That's $500, $600, $700, $800 over again for a brand new phone, or $300 to $700 for the make and model of your phone. And screen replacements is $300 easy. And Apple just gets away with it all the time, every day. I go in the Apple store randomly. Oh, my screen broke. Do you have Apple Care? I don't think so. Can you check? And they check and they don't. That's $300. They walk out the store with a completely cracked screen and then go to a individual or independent service care center or a fix-it shop and get it for half of that price with not even a knockoff screen, a refurbished screen, or a not genuine but almost genuine screen. And Apple got the right to make a firmware that detects it. I understand they want to make it so that people can't use their phones with knockoffs or half-off screens, or like new but ain't genuine screens. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. You have full power to do so. But when people that pay for your Apple services to fix your iPhone, your MacBooks, your MacBook Pros, your iMacs, your MacBook Airs, those types of services, you have to pay Apple to actually get that license to do so. And once you pass it, you get a certificate that states that you yourself can work on that product or any of Apple products so long as you have that certificate. And they are not giving those people that have the certificate, that have paid and painstakingly taken that test and passed, their genuine screens. And push come to shove, they have where if you were to buy their screens, that they would be impounded and destroyed, which is bad, terrible. Why would I go through the painstaking effort of getting the license, getting the certificate, and paying you for your own products to be worked on by me if I can't order them? I see where Linus Tech Tips is at. I see where this other YouTuber, Justin, is at. And he's an individual or independent service provider for whatever he works on. I understand that. That type of pain hits me because I would be frustrated. I would be frustrated to the point where I wouldn't work with you. I wouldn't want to even hear your name. I wouldn't want to see your product. I remember one time when I was in the village where I used to live, And there was a computer center down the block on First Avenue. And they had this MacBook Pro, all aluminum body with motherfucking arrows, bow and arrows, quivers through the computer. And it literally stated on the sign, do not bring us any Macintosh, any Mac, or any Apple device. This is what will happen. And I wanted to ask them, and they couldn't say it then, but now I understand. We get the certificates, we pay for the certificates, we get them, we basically say we want to work on them, and then you say, no, you can't work on them. You can't work on them, you can't service them, you can't do nothing. If anything, give them to us. But that makes no sense. Why make it so that the certificates are out there to buy and purchase so that we can work on them if we can't work on them ourselves? It's not that goddamn difficult to take a phone apart, take mechanisms out, swap it, or even change it if I'm authorized to do so. You know, it's like having a gun. I know there's a thing going around with guns, pro-gun, pro-choice, whatever the hell y'all want to say. But it's like owning a gun. You have to go get the certificate, get the license. Then you have to get the license for that make and model. Then you have to follow the bylaws of it. The magazine can't be in the same gun, and it can't be in the same location or even in the gun safe. It has to be in a different safe, in a different location, within a different lock, within a different key of the lock, in a different area of where you live. So if I had a house and the gun was upstairs in the closet, the gun can stay up there along with the lock box and the key, but the magazine has to go down in the basement along with its key. And making sure that that happens, they have laws in place that do that. But why can't y'all make it so that when people make the money to do your stuff, we can't be authorized to work on it, even though we gave you the money, right, to pay for the certificate, for the test. We studied, we took it, either we passed or failed, we had to take the test over again, but if we passed, then we get a confirmation that says that we passed, and then we get the certificate. 5 steps that Apple takes to make sure that you get your certificate. And then they say, oh, you can't work on it? That's not fair. That's not right. I'm an Apple user. I'm a Samsung and Android user. At the end of the day, consumers should be doing whatever they want with their phone. It is not up to you to regulate whatever they have on their phone. That is called a breach in privacy, and it's also a breach in customer relations. Tim Cook, how would you like it if I was your developer and I made your phone not work because you went to somewhere else to get your phone fixed? I created a firmware update that made sure that your phone became a brick. Your Apple Watch, a brick. Anything you had that I owned, that I made, that I developed, that I made a software for, bricked. That means your car key wouldn't work for your car. Your alarm system wouldn't work when you needed it the most. I understand you're the CEO, but imagine that for you. Imagine me blocking you from your bank account. Your own bank account. It's your money. It's right there in front of you. You go to the bank and you say, my account is this. I would like to withdraw, I don't know, $20. Oh, sorry, Mr. Cook, you can't take out your money. You gonna look around and say, why? Then they're going to tell you, oh, because you don't have proper authorization to your account. But it's your account. That's not right. It's unethical. Make it ethical for us to own our phones, keep our phones, sell our phones if we want to sell it, or give it to someone who wants to basically have the phone, and service the phone however we see fit. Because at the end of the day, you're making it directly towards you that the phone that you and your shareholders pay for to get fixed goes straight to you. At the end of the day, that's why third-party services are created. So they don't have to go through you. And even when they wanted to go through you, you blocked them. Which isn't right and it is not fair. So, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. But this is my feelings about this. I'm not a YouTuber. You can tell that by this long-ass video. I don't like editing, and I don't want this to be edited. But for real, none of y'all understand how it is until it happens to you. All you Apple sheep out there don't understand what Apple is doing until it happens to you. It has happened to me multiple occasions. I, for one, just stuck with it because it's just there. But if I had a choice of spending $75 for a screen replacement versus a $300 replacement, okay then. You spent $1,000 on this phone and got to spend $300 extra just for the screen replacement out of warranty. That's not right. That's not right. It isn't. You're basically paying for an Apple Watch. Why? Why? That's not right. It isn't.